Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Pillar One Advisory Committee to the AIB, and we're here with the Pillar One team and some guests. And the topic of discussion for tonight is the strategies to effectively implement full day pre-K. So we're going to start with the introduction. So I'll let the AIB team go first with the introduction, and then followed by the Pillar One Advisory Committee team, and then our guest.
Thank you, Chair Ruby. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Armstrong. I'm a policy analyst with the AIB. My focus is on Pillar 4, and I also support Pillar 1 with my colleague, Libby Diamonds. Libby, you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Libby Diamond. I am also a policy analyst with the AIB, and I support Pillars 1, 2, and 3. Happy to be here with you all tonight. Ruby?
Thank you so much, AIB team. My name is Ruby Daniels. I'm the chair of the Pillar One Advisory Committee to the AIB. I'm also the president of the Maryland State Family Child Care Association and also a pre-K expansion grantee. So I'm living it, the Pillar One, the Pillar One implementation. So let me pass it on to Gina, because Gina, I see you on the screen.
Hi, everyone. I am Gina Hoover. I am a member of the Pillar One Advisory Committee, and I am the early learning lead teacher in Washington County Public Schools. And I'll pass it to Linda.
Hi, Linda Gronberg-Quinn, also on the Pillar One Advisory team, and I am the Department Chair of Teacher Education at the Community College of Baltimore County. And I will pass it to Sakshi.
Hi, I'm Sakshi. I'm the student member on Pillar One. I'm a 11th grader at Long Beach High School, and I am in Howard County, Maryland. And I will pass it to Dr. Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. I'm also a member of the advisory committee for Pillar One, and I am an associate professor of early childhood education at UMBC.
Do you want to pass it on to our guest?
Sure. I will pass it down to Kelly Longerbeam. There you go.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Kelly Longerbeam. I am the coordinator for early learning here in Washington County Public Schools, and happy to be with you all this evening. So thanks for the invite.
Thank you, Kelly.
And I'll pass it to Laura Harbaugh.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Harbaugh, and I am the Director of Education at Head Start of Washington County.
We have Paula. Oh.
Hi.
Oh, Erin.
Oh, no. There we go. Hi. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Paula Boykin. I am the coordinator of Birth to Five Services in Baltimore County for Baltimore County Public Schools. I actually work for the Department of Special Education, and I collaborate with my partner here.
And I'm Andrea Darian, Director of Early Childhood for Baltimore County Public Schools.
Oh, double team. Thank you. So we also have Erin Adelsberger.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Erin Ellsberg. I'm the Director of Education for the Community Action Council of Howard County. And we are the sole Head Start grantee in Howard County and the largest Blueprint partner in Howard County.
Wow, amazing. We have an amazing team. So we're just going to do a quick update from the AIB on what are the updates for Pillar One.
Okay, yes, welcome to all of our guests, and thank you, Chair Ruby, for keeping us together. All right, so thank you all for lending your time for today's meeting, and here are the important updates from the AIB. AIB is still working through the approval process for LEA plans, and we are happy to report that 2 LEAs have received full plan approval during our last board meeting. And as a reminder, approval consists of the following Blueprint plan components. They must have LEA plans part 1 and 2, a full response to question 23, which is about fiscal responsibility, a career ladder as part of their plan, the literacy plan, a maintenance of certification, the 10% salary increase attestation, and a career counseling MOU if applicable. And it is important to note that any LEA that does not have all components approved by our November board meeting will receive a letter by December 1st, alerting them of the possibility of their blueprint funding increase being withheld. Now, also, the AIB is recruiting and will be hiring shortly for the Government Relations Director position very, very soon. This position will work closely with our Executive Director and our Board of Directors during the upcoming General Assembly session. And that concludes the AIB updates for this month.
Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. The government relations is also like a policy analyst, right?
It
More.
will be more of a legislative director.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Just an update on the pre-K expansion. The Move It portal is up and running. So I did submit the invoice through the new way. It's a portal, the Move It portal, and it is very easy to use. There's a lot of listening session and a lot of guidance from MSD on how to use the portal, and they are also answering questions on some of the difficulties that some private providers or some is having on the portal. Simple questions like what race will I put this on? How do we determine the 300, federal poverty level? So they provided guidelines for all those questions. So it's up and running and it's doing well. Just a quick update. So tonight we have a special treat for everyone. Sakshi, who is our student member, is going to be facilitating this meeting for tonight. So take it away, Sakshi.
Thank you. So first, I'm going to start with the October 24th recap. The topic of our last meeting was the Blueprint in Action, Wins and Roadblocks. Our first speaker was Kimberly Pena Molina, who is the Early Child Care and Education Manager for the Children's Opportunity Alliance in Montgomery County. She basically focused on two things during her time here. The first was that she created a memo to get the opinions of childcare directors. And so some of her key findings were that there was inaccessible language and also the timing of the grant release and notification. And then based on that, they had different recommendations, such as a comprehensive support system and also just reducing the application for renewing grantees. The second thing that she focused on was the EquiCare Subsidy Seat Program, which supports childcare providers in Montgomery County by funding high-quality infant and toddler care. Our second speaker was Bill Hudson, who is the Executive Director for the Aspire Pre-K program in the Family Child Care Alliance of Maryland. They had a lot of updates for us. So they were working with the Children's Opportunity Alliance in Montgomery County and Baltimore County to support different childcare centers. They also created the first ever registered apprenticeship for family childcare. And in the future, they desire to convert Aspire into 2-year registered apprenticeships. The only challenge that they've had is that the governor is requiring the Maryland State Department of Education to spend $500 million on scholarship programs, but they're making cuts, and so they're trying to work to expand Aspire instead. And then our final speaker was Dana and Scott Barnhart from the Kitty Academy of Kent Island. They had a lot of concerns about the MOUs and that the regulations and statutes weren't well explained. So there was just no documentation about what those policies are. They also expressed concerns about partnerships not being individualized. And so they've asked for a dispute resolution. So that's where they're headed in the future. So just special thanks to those 3 speakers. That's it for the recap. Is there anything else that anyone would like to share?
You did a
Anything
great
from- Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good recap of last meeting. So if there's no other feedback and highlights from the committee, do you want to go ahead and to take turns introducing the guest speakers?
Yeah, so our first speaker will be Erin Adelsberger, who is the Director of Education for the Community Action Council of Howard County. So Erin, you can take it away.
Great, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you having me this evening. So I'll share a few things about what we do. I know the focus is strategies for success. So I will focus on those. We are a grantee and have been since 2018. And as you heard me mention, we're the largest Blueprint partner in Howard County, alongside and the sole Head Start grantee. So what we do in our program is we have funding from a variety of sources first. So we have Head Start funding, we have MSDE, now Blueprint formula funding. We've been converted. We also accept the scholarship and we offer before and after care wraparound services. We offer summer programming for eligible families, as well as we use our Head Start State Supplemental Grant for the summer. In addition to other grants such as DSS, we have grants from PNC, as well as some local county funding. And then we also are partnered with Howard Community College and just reopened the Children's Learning Center there. That involves a C Campus grant that was awarded to HCC to reopen Head Start on community college campuses. Now, some of the ways that we are successful in continuing to be a Blueprint partner with Howard County Public Schools is we have a most excellent relationship. We'll just start there. A great collaborative relationship with them. But we do a lot to align our programs so we can leverage our partners as much as possible. So we do that a couple of ways. One, in programming, we align our calendar to maximize our professional development opportunities. So our PD days are the same as the county. Our teachers can take advantage of them and participate. We align our curriculum. We use the same curriculum as Howard County Public Schools. So our students are having the same student academic experience as the local school system. We also align our programming to support our families with multiple children. Our spring break is the same, as I said, with calendar alignment. Our days off are the same, so that when families have multiple children, they're not juggling multiple schedules as much as possible. Other ways we do align and help us be successful is with aligning our services. So by nature of being a Head Start program, all of our families come through our universal application. We maximize their eligibility for Head Start seats, pre-K, still rolls off the tongue, pre-K expansion seats, right? Pre-K funded seats, as well as other programs that we offer. We do housing and energy. We are the sole operator of the Howard County Food Bank. So every family that comes through our door, by nature of being part of a Head Start program, we look for eligibility for all of those other services, which is a bit of what makes us unique and successful in holistically supporting families. We also, all of our families, whether they are Head Start or pre-K funded, receive a family service worker. They participate in family engagement. And we extend family partnership and goal setting to every parent in our program. And then last but not least, we approach that case management with them with the 2-generational whole family approach. And making sure that we serve our families as best we can, even if they're reaching those higher incomes, making sure that we are supporting them as a Head Start program as holistically as possible. The third way that we are successful in doing this is really leveraging our partners. We have strong MOUs, not only with the public school system, but we have a strong relationship with the Office of Children and Families, the Family Support Center, Judy Center, Howard Community College, Howard County Public Library System, and the Infant and Early Childhood Mental Health Program in our county. making sure that we are leveraging those partnerships and really focus on partnership and collaboration for mutual benefit. It doesn't come without its share of, I would remiss if I wouldn't talk for just a moment. And I know you only gave me 5 minutes, so I'm going to make sure I stick to that as closely as possible. It does have areas of opportunity. We are seeing a shift in our enrollment patterns right now. As the number of seats continue to rise, full day slots in our local education agency, they have tripled since 21-22. And private providers, of which we are one, right? They're not gaining ground as fast. I can tell you across the board, we are seeing this year a drop in enrollment. Historically, we were enrolled in our Head Start seats at about 80% and 98% last year. We're enrolled right now at about 60% across the board. We lost between July and September approximately 50 students, of which was reported by those families that 32 of those 50 were going to another program, citing Howard County Public Schools very often. And that is not a negative, right? But just that's where our parents are telling us that they are going. So continuing to think about creative ways that we are cross-enrolling. Other areas where we see challenge is we continuously enroll as well as LEAs enroll. And our families very often will apply for both, not realizing that we are different. We'll send out acceptance letters in July. Congratulations, you have a seat. Come join us August 28th. And we'll find out August 26th that, oh, we forgot about that. We got a seat over here. So that child that we were expecting, trying to get their home visit done and get them set up for success, often results in no-shows, withdrawals. We are still seeing withdrawals as late as October as children are moving over. We are also seeing students who are moving to full-day, 5-day special education programming and less half-day programming, which impedes Head Start's requirement for 10% of children with disabilities enrolled. Especially when you're dual funded and mixed funded. Less part day and less, we call them PAL services or push-in services, result in more children who get services that they very, very much need and we are in full support of, but leaving us and leaving the Head Start service. So I kept it to 6 minutes, Ruby, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to share.
So can you just briefly share how the application process is to Head Start and what are the qualifications to getting accepted?
Sure. So our universal application process, all families come through a universal application for us where, as I said, we assess for every service that we have available. If they indicate they have a child 3 to 5 years old, we process it through our ERC team. It is assigned to a family first service worker. We evaluate essentially for tier 1 first, because those children can be served in a Head Start classroom or an MSDE funded seat. Then we start to look towards, if they don't qualify for that, then what might they qualify for? We also co-locate their application based on zip code. So it comes into our central office. We co-locate their application to the closest center. We have a zip code criteria, just like a school system catchment would for our different locations. And then we determine, we tag them to that location, and that family service worker completes their intake, completes their application and their eligibility. With that being said, we will offer them a seat at another location should there be one available, even if it is not in their assigned area. We're not restricted to that, but we try to assign them to the center closest to their home.
So you're saying that they could do across county, even if they're not in Howard?
No, not cross county, only within the county. So all of our locations are inside the county.
Okay.
But they might live closer to our Ellicott City location. But if I don't have a seat, if they're eligible for there, they might be able to go to our Bowder Education Center in Long Reach. The parent would need to transport, But it all depends on, we co-locate them to the closest to their home address. But we will offer seats off of our wait list as we can continue to fill seats. Now, very often the parent will say, no, I'm sorry, that's too far, or it's too far out of my, way to work, or whatever it may be. And so we try to do our best to offer an available seat to eligible students on the wait list. But often parents, sometimes they will accept it, sometimes they won't. And it could be due to a variety of personal reasons.
Is transportation included in some areas?
We do not do transportation.
Okay. What about help with CCS application?
We help them as much as we possibly can. So I have a billing and scholarship administrator, but due to the changes with the portal, there's very little we can facilitate for them. We offer them the opportunity, as well as we make appointments with our family support center, which is actually 2 doors down from us, to try to get them in there, as they have some folks who can help as well. But in terms of us being able to help, we're quite limited. We will sit beside the parent, try to support them as much as possible, but we're really limited in how much we can help them and support them in that process.
Okay, any more feedback from the committee or questions? Okay. So who's next? I think it's Linda.
Hi there. I would love to welcome and introduce our folks from Baltimore County Public Schools. So we have Paula Boykin, who is the coordinator of, she's already said this, coordinator of Birth to 5 Services, Office of Special Education with Baltimore County Public Schools, and Andrea Darian, who is the director of Early Childhood Programs with Baltimore County Public Schools. And I did not know if you sort of have a tag team or what, and so that's why I decided to introduce you both at once. Welcome.
That's perfect. Thank you.
That works perfectly for us.
You start.
We spend a lot of time working. We spend work together every day. So one of our biggest focus this year has been on expanding our full day pre-K seats. In 2023, we had 300 full day pre-K seats available. Last school year, we're up to 820. I'm thrilled to say that this school year, we have over 2,000 full day seats. And currently we have 2,031 students enrolled in full day pre-K 4 in Baltimore County. So our focus continues to be on expanding full day pre-K to all of our elementary schools. And we're going to have to really lean on our private providers to assist us with getting our 3s in school as well full day. Currently, we only have 6 full day programs for our 3s. We have half day programs, but our goal is to get our 3s in school as well full day. But for right now, we're prioritizing our 4s.
Yeah, I would add to that, just thinking about the private provider partnerships. I don't think that we're unique, and that it's taken us a bit of time in Baltimore County to build those relationships. We did increase.
I think they froze. Yeah.
One of the things that we recognized when we were developing our plan for, I'm unstable.
Yeah, Paula, you might have to repeat what you said because I think it froze. Oh no. We're getting some technology issues.
Oh no, I'm glad.
Okay.
Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure. That doesn't typically happen in this building. Are we good now? Are you guys good?
You have to repeat what you said.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I was saying is that in addition to the seats that Andrea just referenced, we have another 270 seats in the community spread across 7 providers. One of the providers is the group of family childcare settings. And so there's a handful of those. All of those individuals we've been inviting into our professional learning. The step that we're taking this year is really engaging more with providers in the county that may be interested in becoming Blueprint partners. And we've been doing that through some work that we're doing with our local interagency coordinating council, which is our Birth to 5 advisory group. We've started that work there. And then we're partnering with our Blueprint liaison, who has created some interview questions for providers that we'll identify that may be interested, as well as she's going to be facilitating some engagement sessions. We have not set dates for those. Those will likely at this point, I would say, start after the first of the year. But we've had some really robust planning in our LICC. Few private providers involved, but we've connected with Project Act of the Abilities Network. We were able to access a few providers from the community. Also, Maureen Kreitz, who is our Judy Center specialist, has brought some people in. So what we're going to do is really look at how can we kind of make some changes so that we're better able to engage directly with providers. I think that we've had success connecting with those groups that support providers. We want to hear directly from providers, like what is it that you would need to partner with Baltimore County. And also, again, when we use the word engage, we mean real engagement. I think that one of the things that we have to do as a school system is start building relationships and understand that we have as much to learn from our private provider community as they may gain by being a Blueprint partner. And I think so we're really kind of starting at that place this year, and we're excited about it. But we have a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of need in our county. So
one of the things I also, Paul just talked about the amount of need. Our seats that are filled, I just want most people to aware that most of those seats, 90% of those seats are Tier 1 students. So one of the things we also did was we added a Blueprint full day pre-K paid helper to the classroom, along with the teacher and the paraeducator. So my office and Paul's office are working together to provide training for those paid helpers, 16 hours of paid training, because their position, they wouldn't be paid during times when students aren't in school. So we're going to train them on days like conference days when students are not there, or system-wide professional days. So basically that 16 hours will cover everything from foundations of early childhood, because the paid helper may not have a background in education, up to ensuring a safe and supportive environment. So they'll have 4-hour sessions 4 different times to give them 16 hours of training to take back into the classroom.
Okay, that is amazing. There's a lot of things at Baltimore County, and I'm really impressed that there's so many seats that were filled. I mean, that is very impressive. Now, you did say something about interview questions and then the engagement meeting. If possible, when that's on, I would like to, get an invitation so that way I can find out more about how to engage the community on, the Blueprint. The other thing also that I think we should focus on is raising awareness on what is the Blueprint and what is pre-K. Because a lot of the private providers, especially family childcare providers, they have their first reaction is, I don't want to do it. The reason why they're saying I don't want to do it is because they don't know what the whole what it entails. A lot of them are saying, well, I don't want people coming to my household, something like that. So I think it's more of the Blueprint awareness that we have to raise, so that way when we do the partnership, maybe kind of Montgomery County did this. They identified the Maryland Excels 3, 4, and 5 programs, and they found out there's very few Maryland Excels 5. So I guess focus on the quality and see if those quality programs are willing to embark in the becoming a pre-K expansion grantee. The difficulties that providers are also having is the grant application process itself. It's very complex. And then, of course, the budget. So moving forward, if you're going to partner with the private community, maybe those are the steps, or those are the the things to look for or work on, so that way we can increase the capacity, because that's the goal, right? Would be to make sure that we have the capability to do the 50-50 split, because I don't think it's hard to achieve, because there's very few that will qualify at the moment. So any more comments and questions from the committee? Okay, go ahead, Kelly.
Can I ask a question? So hi, how are you guys?
Hi, Kelly.
You had talked about, so your pre-K classrooms have like that teacher para, but then you have a paid, you call them like a paid helper in the classroom. So you're not calling them a pre-K para per se, or?
No, they're called, we actually named them full day Blueprint paid helper.
So I guess my question is, do they have to do the same thing with Blueprint with having either that CDA or the AA?
No, they have to have high school diploma. That's why we want to provide so much training with them.
Okay, so they're coded something different than per se. Okay, that's why I was like, oh, I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, we have the 2 adults that meet all. So if we were to go like more than 20, which we can only do for another year anyway, and then we're still working that out too. Like, what do you do when number 21, child number 21, who's eligible? I mean, we must serve them, but because they're the 3rd adult. And one of the reasons, and this gives me an opportunity to say this, because I like to say this everywhere I go. Our commitment from the beginning in Baltimore County, and I think this is the first year that we're like really realizing it, is that we really wanted to build one system for our 3- and 4-year-olds. There's a continuum of services for children that receive special education services, but really looking at it as one system and not expanding full day over here and full day over there, which is another reason that we're trying to really work together. Our teams are providing professional learning together. And it was also the impetus for the third part of the impetus for the 3rd adult in the classroom, so that we would be able to meet needs of students who may come with more significant kind of classroom needs than in the past in those settings.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any more comments and feedback from the committee or from the guest? Okay. I guess. Thank you so much, Baltimore County team. Thank you so much, Howard County team. So I guess we're moving on to Washington County. Gina.
Hi, everyone. So I'll just reintroduce really quickly Kelly Longerbeam, who is the WCPS coordinator for early learning, and Laura Harbaugh, who is the director of education for Washington County Head Start. And so they're here to talk a little bit about our collaboration, because as we know, to effectively implement full day pre-K, it takes collaboration between the public and private providers. So they're just going to talk to you guys a little bit about how we collaborate as an LEA with Head Start. So I will turn it over to them.
Do you want me to start, Laura? Okay. So just like Gina was saying, it always takes a village. We're in this together, because if our focus is our students, what are we doing together? Because it's not just our students, her students, they're all our students, and we want what's best for all of them. So I was sitting here trying to think, I've known Laura probably now, I was thinking 9 or 10 years that I have known Laura, I've worked with Laura. And I think that relationship is so key with it, and getting to know them, just a working relationship, and then even becoming friends. So I would say, first off, a lot of times one of our barriers can be that curriculums are different for what we're doing in our LEA versus what Head Start's doing. So one of our solutions was to think about, okay, well, what PD opportunities can we offer their staff? because best practices are best practices no matter what curriculums we're using. So what are we doing best? What's best for kids? So we have done professional learning opportunities around phonemic awareness, the science of reading. We've looked at math practices, literacy practices with Dr. Nell Duke. We even did a book study last year with them, the literacy learning for infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. And then even we're able to do core of knowledge hours for all of her staff that participated. And I think it was almost 70 some staff who participated in that book study. So it was awesome to see them charting answers. We had Google Slides, so they were putting their feedback and thoughts from each chapter and then had slides to review it all. Actually, next Friday, we're kicking off our Help for Billy book study with their staff as well and doing core of knowledge hours again. So we really try to align it on days that are professional learning days for them, coming in and doing trainings in the afternoon. So it works for both our schedules. Then also thinking about the alignment piece. So what we are using with our report cards and our checklist, providing them the same resource as well, because if they're coming to us for kindergarten, it's nice for our kindergarten teachers to have it from pre-K and also from Head Start. So they have that information and that alignment piece with it. And also, so we're all still working towards the same standards and skills. And we were both also using that early learning assessment. So excited to see when that new piece of assessment comes out for our youngest friends and have that collaboration again. Something else that Laura does a really nice job with as we start looking at those students who are transitioning to kindergarten, she reaches out to every elementary school that they have students that are coming from Head Start to them with kindergarten, offers articulation meetings, even does some school visits. So the kids will actually ride a school bus, get to go visit the school, meet the principal, kind of get a little tour of the building with those pieces of it. And what's really nice then too is if any of our schools are having anything over the summer, they'll share that information with Laura so she can share that with her families as well. So if they're doing any like Jumpstart to K camps, any back to school nights, any type of family engagement piece, we had that communication. And then probably one of my favorite activities that we have partnered with Head Start with was, I guess, our very first year of trying it 3 years ago, we were looking at doing a kindergarten transition night. So Gina and I were going to go out to their one center, and they were inviting all their families that were getting ready to go into kindergarten. We're going to do it. And to be honest, the first time we tried it, we did not get very much feedback, and we ended up not even having the event because their RSVPs were pretty low. So
I think it was during COVID, though. There was
okay, it was okay. But we're like, okay, what can we do to make it better? So the following year, it takes a village. We brought in another partner. We brought in our Judy centers. So we decided the Judy centers were going to provide the families a pizza to go. They did a Build-A-Bear stuffed animal as a reading buddy. So while Gina and I were talking with the families and giving them information on kindergarten curriculum, expectations, what a day looks like, and just questions that they had, because they wanted to know things like, what does lunch look like? What does it look like on the bus? Just questions that parents have. So while we're working with them and talking with them, the little ones got to go do the Build-A-Bear stuffed animals with the Judy Center staff then. And then at the end of the night, they all had those and got to take a pizza home. And the turnout was awesome. So then we replicated that again last year and just had an even more great turnout last year, even with it. So just those relationships, because we are in it together. Laura, do you want to add? What else did I miss?
Well, I had a lot of things Kelly said I was planning to say. I would say about the trainings, it really helps our staff to feel like they are also, as Kelly talked so much about being aligned to the public schools, I think it really helps them to know that what they're doing in their classroom is also what's happening in many of the pre-K classrooms. We do have a pre-K classroom, but then we have a lot of Head Start classrooms too. All of those people attend the trainings, just really gives them a sense of self-worth, knowing that they're doing the same kind of work that is happening at the public schools. I really think that's been a real boost for our staff. One thing that Kelly didn't mention that has been such a strong piece of why we partner so well and why we work so well with the LEA is that we have special education staff from the public schools in our sites. Head Start we do have a lot of children with disabilities. And so they have found that we have enough that it warrants them to have actual staff in our sites, which really then lends itself into a wonderful transition for our children with disabilities going to public schools, because they will hold those transition meetings right with the staff of the school that the child is transitioning to. That has turned out to be such a strong partnership, piece of our partnership. We had a situation, it helps us with the increase in so many challenging behaviors. Sometimes some of our children, we don't maybe necessarily have the most appropriate placement for them. So just like there's a situation right now where we've contacted them, they may have a more appropriate placement for a child where the child gets the supports they need all the time. And so we're looking at maybe transitioning that child into a special classroom already. Her sibling is in the school. She's going to be going to the school next year. And so it would help her to maybe become better established if she could get into that, into a special classroom faster. Those kind of things have really been beneficial to us in working together. As I do think we have a real strong transition, and it really does help that we really just open ourselves to how can we help our children be successful even after they're leaving us. So we have children that go to kindergarten and then the principals are calling us and saying, can we have some kind of articulation meeting? We're having some issues here. Can we find out how the children were succeeding last year in your classrooms? And what can we do? And our teachers, they know those children and they want them to succeed as well. So they'll meet with the teacher that the child has transitioned to. We give our tips. What worked for the child last year in our sites, those kind of things. And so, we've always done those things and we just continue to work together better all the time.
Wow, thank you so much. That is any comments or feedback from the committee? I think it's great that private and public partnership is going on in so many counties, in Baltimore County, in Washington County, in Howard, and that we are getting the kids ready for kindergarten and beyond, and we want them to be successful also in life. Those are valuable skills that we're giving them early, so they have that foundation that they can go, and be successful in life and get them ready. So you did mention something about the early learning standards too, right? There's like a new early learning standards, which is this year it's a little bit complex because now we have a different standards that we have to go with, right? Is there any challenge in that field? Or it's okay?
I would say it's not really a challenge. It's just, you're learning something new again.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at it, it's a lot. I was thinking of printing it and I'm thinking, oh no, it's like a book. So yeah, but yeah, so we're kind of aligning. In Howard, I'm the same as Aaron. Aaron is using the same curriculum as the public school. I'm also using the C4 Learning and this year, and I'm enjoying it. It's really nice curriculum. So you said something about different curriculum between you and the Head Start.
Mm-hmm. So we use CKLA here in the school systems, and I believe Laura's they're doing Children Study Their World and Explore Their World.
Oh, CSW, yeah. Children, yeah.
And we did, Ruby, we did print off the new standard booklets.
Oh, you did?
All of our classrooms have them in, because as part of accreditation, we're required to have those standards listed on our lesson plans and things like that. So, we're trying to make sure that our teachers have the tools to do that. And we actually had a pre-K visit last week, and they checked to make sure all that stuff is listed on our lesson plans and things like that. So we did print them.
Yeah.
Pretty, they look beautiful all printed up. I think we did it at Staples.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It was a lot. So yeah, that is also the thing when I had my visit. I had to align all my standards with the new standards. So kind of redo my lesson planning that way. So any more from the committee? I mean, we are doing well with time. So Lisa will be happy, and Libby. Okay, so shall we go ahead and wrap up, Lisa or Libby?
If anyone has any questions for your speakers, this would be a good time for Q&A.
Any more?
I was just gonna say, I think it is, and Kelly and I always talk about this when we're doing the PD. Like she said, since we don't use the same curriculums as our private providers, our 3 current ones and the LEA use different ones, just focusing on that PD piece. But I think it's interesting, Ruby, and how you've implemented, the same curriculum, so I think it's kind of a both ways kind of thing. It is difficult for, if you have, I think, 20 different private providers, let's say, for everybody to, try to implement the same thing, or, having 20 different curriculums and stuff like that. So I think it's just, it's finding those ways for that collaboration, even if you don't have, don't let that be a barrier to collaborating and and having those relationships, because like Kelly said, we always say it's a village, and we all have to work together to get all of these babies ready for kindergarten.
Yes, so the other thing also with the aligning for family childcare providers, when I was aligning the curriculum with the public school has 20 students. So then the curriculum is designed for 20 students, and I have a maximum of 8. But I was able to go around it by, I can just make a copy of the assessment, and the assessment is also online. So that is, and the curriculum, I can repeat it the following year, because again, it's a curriculum, right?
Age, Ruby? Forgive me, I should probably know that.
C for learning.
No, but I mean, do you have 3s and 4s in your?
Yeah, I have mixed age group. So I have the 3 and 4s, but I just do the differentiated instruction and I just base the instruction on each individual skills and, and interest as well. So because I have a mixed age group, which is a little bit of a challenge, but now the 3s are catching up with the 4s and some 4s are with the 3 classrooms. So different skills, right? But everybody's learning. So, yeah. So if there's nothing else,
I have a question, Ruby.
Go ahead, Lisa.
For Baltimore County, I would like to know, how did you all find and source the seats that you now have for the large increase of the 4s, pre-K 4s, I guess? Yeah.
So what we did was we turned a lot of our half-day programs into full-day programs, but we also looked at all building spaces and found schools that had spaces that would maybe be using for resource teachers or other types of classes, and turned them into pre-K classrooms. So we did a lot of building walks and went through a lot of buildings to find spaces that could be used as classrooms. The county actually did do some work with putting bathrooms into some schools to make sure they would be accessible for our youngest learners. But a lot of it was finding empty space in buildings that was not being utilized as a classroom space and taking that space away from adults so we could give that space to children. But something else I wanted to share, I had my hand up a second ago. I heard Ruby say she's using the C4L for her 3s and 4s. We have resources that we can share with you that we designed for our 3s. One of the resource teachers in Birth to 5 went through the whole C4L program and redesigned it for the 3-year-olds. So we can share that with you as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Baltimore County, you get 2 stars.
Make it 5.
Okay.
Because they're sharing with me and they're giving me resources.
Yes.
I mean, me and the family childcare community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is amazing. That's
Yes.
why I like this partnership, and then we can hear from one another and also help one another. This is like Kelly said, it takes a village, right? So
Yes.
okay. So if there's nothing else, we can close the meetings and next steps after this. There's a few of the Pillar One that's gonna meet, right? But our next advisory committee meeting is on December 5th, and the new start time is, as always, 4:30 and ends sharply at 5:30, right, Lisa? All
Yes.
right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for all the guests, Aaron,
Wonderful
Paula,
guests.
Adrian, and Kelly, and the AIB team and my Pillar One team for a nice meeting. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving to all.
Thank you.
Thank you all for having us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good night.
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 Okay. Okay.